So Acura has been developing ligature resistant products for at least 40 years. Dates all the way back to, let's say, sometime in the 80s, back when OGS, which is what it was called all the way back then instead of OMH, reached out to Acura when it was essentially my dad and 10 or 15 employees, and they were looking for a solution to a problem they had where they were trying to eliminate a ligature on doorknobs. So that's when we developed the conical knob. And interesting story about that is once we developed it, they were using it in a bunch of different places throughout the facility. It was working great. And then they started using it in a locker room where people's hands were wet and they had trouble turning the knob. So then we developed the dimpled safety knob, which has the dimples in it, which allowed them to turn it. And then from there, we moved on when the ADA requirements came into play, and we needed to come up with a solution for that because you couldn't use knobs because they weren't ADA compliant. So at that point, we looked at, okay, why don't we make something that clips onto the knob that we can turn into a lever? We presented that, and at the facility, they told us, absolutely not. There's no way we want a situation where something comes off the door, something can be put in the hands of a patient. It's not safe for patients or for staff. And so that's when we developed the clutching lever, and many other manufacturers make these clutching levers today, and they're used in in lower risk areas of the hospital. And then from there, OGS then reached out and said, you know what, clutching levers are great, but we have an issue with transverse knotting. So you can basically throw something around both levers and create a ligature. That's when we came up with the crescent handle, which is basically the industry standard and has been the industry standard for, I don't know, probably the last 15, 18 years. And then from there, we've done even more work and to try and eliminate ligatures and try to eliminate risks. And we've come out with the ligature resistant sliding door system, which we believe, as do many of the thought leaders in the industry, is the next generation of ligature resistant safety hardware. So that's essentially what the progression is.